Nggak ada sih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning everyone. Insya Allah ini kita akan mulai dalam 3 menit. Akan saya admit semua partisipan. Saat ini partisipan sudah ada 44 yang di waiting room. Insya Allah nanti akan bertambah sejalannya dengan waktu karena di email kemarin diinformasikan kita mulai jam 9. Kepada Bu Rahmawati Husein, terima kasih sudah mau menunggu Bu.
Ya.
Mohon maaf karena kita masih harus sesuai jadwal. Insya Allah kita mulai 3 menit lagi. Kita akan mulai semua. Kita akan terima semua partisipan.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you Bu.
I will stand by.
Thank you. Acan khototna ka. We will proceed after 3 minutes ka. So we will wait for the other 3 minutes and accepting all the participant and later we will start. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you.
Mas Agustiara itu terbalik itu.
Oh iya, Bu.
Iya. You can put in a mirror.
I tried to put it because in my screen already it's correct, but I don't know in.
Yeah, from our screen, yours are still on this iPad.
How is it now, Miss Ama?
Korea. Pastinya jamaah yang ngomong juga banyak sekali nih, merasa kegalauan yang sama mengenai dizolimin oleh atasannya. Nah, kali ini ada video virtual lagi. Mana memperhatikan? Nih.
Bu Ama, I think your background is still flip. You may change it to mirror.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check. Is it okay right now?
Not yet, Miss.
Not yet. Okay. Let me download the new one.
Halo, Assalamualaikum, Kak Agus.
Waalaikumsalam.
Semua dimasukin, Mas. Ada beberapa mitra yang minta mereka dimasukin segala.
Yeah, we just let in them directly.
Ya. Halo, Assalamualaikum Mbak Nia. Gimana kabarnya Mbak Nia? Lama tak jumpa.
Waalaikumsalam.
Pripun kabare?
Alhamdulillah baik. Kebetulan Senin WFO, jadi saya di kampus.
Wih, rajin sekali Mbak Nia ini.
3 sesi Mas di kampusnya, Senin,
Wih.
Rabu sama Jumat, sisanya WFH.
Oh,
Masih apa ya? Masih rawan untuk Bandung.
Saya di bandara ini.
Waduh,
Jadi nanti dilanjutkan oleh Mas Agus dan teman-teman.
sip. Iya. Sukses Mas, sehat ya.
Ya, alhamdulillah, oke. Ya, siap. Oke, Rohana, are you there? Puan Rohana? Puan Rohana, are you there? Are all the speaker already in, Mas Agus?
Currently we only have Bu Ama and Sirikanya, yeah, Dr. Sirikanya.
Oh, okay. Sirikanya, how are you? Halo, Sirikanya, can you hear me? Is my voice clear or not, Mas Agus? I asked Sirikanya.
Yeah, is it very clear?
Okay.
I try to connect.
Sawadikap.
Sawadika.
How are
Can
you?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. I can hear you. It's very clear.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The sound is clearly?
Yes.
Okay,
It's-
thank you.
Yeah. It's crystal clear. And Mbak Ama? How are you, Mbak Ama?
Yes, I am here. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Mbak Ama. I'm just going to go to somewhere. I'm still in the airport.
Oh, you are a very busy person, so I'm only
No.
at home right now.
But I'm less busy than you.
I'm still work from home, not you.
What's your vaccine? Is it everything okay?
Yeah, I've already got the second vaccine through Muhammadiyah,
Mhm.
so I think I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Alhamdulillah. Good.
What
good,
about
good.
you? Are you still sleepy?
No, everything is much better now.
No. Okay. Good.
For
Because
the first shoot, I think yeah. Okay, go ahead, Mbak Ama.
oh yeah, or just because people say that the impact on vaccination is sleepy, and then some people got headache, and then some got different.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just excuse to get out from their office.
Oh. Mm.
Okay, Mas Agus, I think we can start it because I think Rohana will be a bit late because
I'm
she
here.
Just now, he's joining now.
Yeah.
Is it, you can hear me? Morning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Rohana, welcome on board.
Thank you. Yeah, because I just finished my morning class from
Yeah.
8 to 10. So immediately I dismissed my class
Yeah.
to join this. But you can see me clearly.
Yes. Yeah. Your voice as well is very clear. Okay, Lubna, shall we start it now?
But I don't know how to make it this one because, oh, let me see. I'm not really familiar with the Zoom meet because all the time we always use here Webex and also Google Meet. When it comes to Zoom meet, I still a little bit blurry.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
okay.
fine,
We can
yeah.
help. We can help.
I'm the one who is it we just recently starting or I'm so sorry because
Not
a
yet,
little
not
bit.
yet. We haven't started yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, Lubna, shall we start it? Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, everyone. First of all, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah who already give us health and also iman so we can come and join to this event. And secondly, I would like to say my congratulate and also I will be say thank you very much for my respected speakers, Dr. Rohana from Universiti Terengganu, Malaysia, and Dr. Sirikanya from Mahasharakam University, Thailand, and Dr. Rahmawati Husein from Universitas Yogyakarta, and all my partners university. There are many partner university abroad from Galaxy University, Maijo University, Thammasat University, and then University Utama Malaysia, University of Terengganu, Malaysia, and then our national university partner from Universitas Muhammadiyah Jember, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, and then some of other universities that I cannot say one by one here. On behalf of ASEAN Pacific Society for Public Affairs and Susukala School of Government, Magister Ilmu Pemerintahan Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, I'm really happy to have you here. And without ado, we will start this event by reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, for the first one, for this event, the moderator will be Dr. Agus Tiara because he is more handsome than me and also he is cleverer than me. So I will pass my my task to Agus Tiara. Agus Tiara, please time for you to handle this meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Dr. Eko. Basically, I was getting more knowledge during my studies under Dr. Eko. Okay, so thank you for the committee. Good morning, everyone, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
First, I would like to welcome to this public lecture on local government units and sustainable development. I'm very pleased to moderate this public lecture, and we also already have 3 speakers here. Firstly is Dr. Sirikanya Seti, which is graduated from Konkan University, and she currently lecturer in Rajabhat Mahasharakam University, Thailand. And also we have Dr. Rohana Ahmad. She is the Executive Board of Asia Pacific Society for Public Affairs, APSPA, and also currently she was a lecturer at Faculty of Business, Economic and Social Development. Please interrupt me if it is incorrect. Universiti Terengganu, Malaysia. Yeah, and also we have senior lecturer, Dr. Rahmawati Husein. She is reader or doctor of urban and regional science, which is graduated from Texas University. She also very active in Muhammadiyah Disaster Management Center. So I think it is very related to our topic, which is discussing on social sustainable development and also local government units department. So let me moderate this seminar, which ruling some criteria or what kind of discussion will be running. For example, please, for those like to ask and giving some questions, and you may start typing or make some note in the room chat, so I can notify whether which question will be delivered to. And also, I'm very pleased to invite all the participants during the public lecture. Please unmute your computer to make sure the all presentations from our speaker will be heard clearly. So now we like to having our first speaker. Please, Dr. Sirikanya, please open your video and also unmute your voice. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Selamat pagi. Sawadika. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very clear.
Yeah, it's very clear.
I would like to share my PowerPoint. Can I?
Sure. You may directly share your screen.
Excuse me, can you see my PowerPoint?
Yeah, please go ahead, Dr. Sirikanya.
Okay. Can I start? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Selamat pagi. Sawadika. I'm from Thailand. My name is Sirikanya Seti. I'm an assistant teacher in Rajabhat Mahasharakam University. I would like to say thank you for inviting me to join this webinar for today. Okay, today I would like to present my title in about the collaboration in the educational management of local government and stakeholder for sustainable development in case study in Thailand. An introduction about the importance of the education. As we know, education is the fundamental development of human quality. The most country in the world, especially including in Thailand, is use education to improve quality of human in country. To improve its citizen quality of life, Thai government believes that the improving or the reform educational management system can be achieved the goal. And followed by Thailand's National Education Act BE 2545 or 2002 as divides the system or type of education in three types. One is the formal education, and number two is non-formal education, and the last one is informal education. And why do we need decentralization of power at local level? At the first reason, as the land size of populations means rapid population expansion. And reason number two is the central government policy are slowly to respond the people requirement. The government is considered to be responsible toward their population. And the reason number three, they have different from the context of the central government and local government, and the limitation in how government can provide public service policy to the people. Another reason why we need to decentralization to the local government is the educational administration by the central government is not educated for all the population in all places. Another one is the government must design education policy for people remote from central government power center. Number 7 is the local government had increased their potential to respond the education decentralization policy from the central government. And in Thailand, the beginning of the educational management by local government is start with the Constitution of the Kingdom of Thailand in 2540 or in 1997 and Thailand National Education Act BE 2545 or 2002. The local administration organization have been responsible for organizing vocational training courses to meet local needs and manage all levels of the education according to the demand of the local community or people in the local. And the Ministry of the Education have to set the criteria and the assessment method for evaluating the readiness or preparedness of the local government for education management and will must to decentralization the power to the Ministry of Interior too. And the objective of the reform or develop the education management in Thailand is focused on student-centered learning. I think the same in Indonesia. The responsibility of the Ministry of Interior is to take care of people and implement the public policy. And the local administrative organization or local government unit have to set a strategy for education development in line with the directions of national development and the Ministry of Education policy and the provincial cluster development strategy. And the local government improve reform-based teaching, learning, and assessment in an increasingly decentralized system. For attempt to create the comprehensive information and communication technology system are strategy for improve the teacher skill to make the best use of technology in the classroom, or as we know as nowadays, the information technology is have impact in our lives that we use to support the teaching and learning. And expect to develop the holistic strategy to prepare the teacher as school leader or executive of school. Or build their capacity to professional development to deliver education reform. Another one is the focus on tackling teaching shortage in the most depressed area. And the one of important policy that the local government in Thailand is used to drive policy in the education is the School-Based Management for Local Government or SBMLD. It's to enhance local development with the assumption the guide rules basic to develop is more likely to success. And SBMLD is the local education development must occur in tandem with central educational development too. This concept of the SBMLD is supported by related organizations such as the Department of the Local Administration and the Ministry of Education. And the local content curriculum are decided by local participants, administrators, experienced local leader, teacher, and parents of students. And the local curriculum is not only innovation by Thai local education, but it maintains the value traditional knowledge for the new general and support good relation within the locally connected community. I think this is the important or outstanding of the local government to educate. Education management is to will be must to follow by the central government policy and to maintain the traditional of the local. And the cooperation in the educational management of local government and stakeholders. By the National Education Act, intention is to make education a matter of everyone, and everyone or all people in the country and take part in the provision of education. One of the principles of educational management is the society participate in the educational management organization of education structure and process based on participation. In Thailand, who is the stakeholder in educational management? This is the individuals, families, community organization, and local government organization, private sector and private organization, religions, institutions too, and other sector can be support the educational management in Thailand. The success for education management at most educational due to the participation of the people in the area. All types of the education must be cooperate between local government and stakeholders. And the concept of educational policy, that is, everyone has the potential to learn. Everyone can get the opportunity to learning. Educational management by local government is for improve well-being to Thai people based on learner is so very important. Participating and integrating local resources on the basis of community-based decentralization. The strengthening of foundation with the cooperation or sector in community is a thinking to less planning, decision making, and solve the problem and make appreciation. And is the educational management by local government should be flexibility and mobility to study manager on diversity and in the line with the local contact and Thai society too. And the key success factor of the participation stakeholder and local government is the seriousness of the administrator, leader of teacher, and the community. Number two is the unity of the personal operating to respect and accept each other on basic equality. And number three key success factor is the learning about project preparation and practice to carrying out activity that are organized systematically, constant close follow-up and guidance. And another key success factor is the freedom in thinking and practice of school and community. Let the stakeholder learn and solve the problem by themselves based on the belief every organized has the ability and can be done with system on track, and there have a problem or risk can be solved together in timely manner. And the last one is the student can be learned happily because they learn what they want to learn, resulting from practice and fieldwork, resulting in the achievement of the desired goals and characteristics according to a age range. In my conclusion of my presentation is the provision of education created by the needs of the learner and public is carried out under the participation of community organization. And it will be able to lead to learning that consistent with the way of life of the learners of our age is its long life learning that everyone enjoy learning. Everyone as every age can be learning in have the skill of learning or of life. The organization that provide education is also happy for the cooperation of education management from all parties. It is an open study outstanding educational organization and teach level is the accordant with the criteria that is more jointly set up to create more in non-competitive work. That's to empower and inspire to move forward together steadily. So educating is the development of human health, both physical, mental, social, and intellectual. Okay, thank you. This is all my presentation for today.
Thank you to Dr. Sirikanya for your presentations. And
thank you.
Yeah, on the decentralizations on education sector, especially for the educational management in local government by building trust and also the participations of the people. So I will back to you after the presentations of Dr. Rohana and also Dr. Rahmawati Husein. And also please note for the participants, if you have a questions, please type your questions here, or also you may raise your hand after. And also now we came to the second speaker. I would like to invite and very pleased to have Dr. Rohana for your time. Is yours. Sorry, please, could you unmute your voice?
Oh, sorry, I forgot that. So thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, which is mentioned by Dr. Eko just now, a handsome moderator. So, by the way, good morning to all, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizer who invited me to be in one of the visiting lecturer for today. So I'll be blessed to have these invitations. Thank you so much. Then I hope that also God bless open of us here today. So I would like to share my screen with yours from the point of view, Malaysian point of view about the local governments. Hi everyone. So this is a greeting from Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. Before we start our lecture, I would like to inform the students who are right now. I believe you are in this this workshop or webinar. So I just want to share with you that there are no secret to success. It is the result of the preparations, hard works, and learning from failure. So meaning to say for the postgraduates or undergraduates or everyone that we have to, if success is a painful, then we have to work for that, work smart, and climb up from one level to other levels. So thank you so much. Before this is that introductions from me to all of the students there. By the way, thank you for Dr. Sirikanya Dr. Rahmawati, Mr. Agustara, and who else in this? Dr. Eko, thank you so much. So now I would like to share with what we call that. We are on our topic today is on the cooperative social policy, which is that would like to share with yours. Hold on a second, let me, okay, make it bigger a bit. So now this is, we are talking about this, or call that local governments is part of comparative social policy, and against myself, Dr. Rohana Ahmad from Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. I'm received my Ph.D. in in public management, so my expertise in the leadership. So now let me move on with the second slide. Okay, before we start this, before we proceed with our lecture today, I would like to introduce yours about the organization chart under Ministry of Housing and Local Government, where we are, where the local government place. So a local government authority actually is placed under Ministry of Ministry of Housing and Local Government in Malaysia. So here, this is a local department, a local government. So all over in Malaysia, local governments. So it will be a means if we have to report their functions, their administrations to Ministry of Housing and Local Government in Malaysia. But for your information, actually in local authority in Malaysia, like town house, city hall or what, actually they're wearing two hats, which is they have to report to Ministry of Housing and Local Government in Federal Kuala Lumpur, and another one, they belong to state government. So they have wearing two hats. It might be maybe different from Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines or what. But in Malaysia, local government reported to two, Ministry of Housing and Local Government, federal, and another one, their activities have to report to state government. So two. So this is about, of course, this is in Malay because I copy paste from the Ministry of Housing and Local Government website for me to show where is the local government. So here is a local government is a department which is under Ministry of Housing and Local Government, which is led by or record that what this is chief operating in Ministry of Local Government. So they have a lot of under local government. So local authority is part of the Ministry of Housing. So this is a picture about the local authority in Malaysia. Okay. This is about local authority. The functions of local authority, which is they have, of course, they have a different function as well, because we have throughout Malaysia we have 149 local authority. So some of them it may have a difference of the departments, but basically this is the organization chart for local authority, which is headed by Chief Executive, Chief Operating Officer, Compliance Assurance, Internal Audit, Integrity Audits, Panel of Industry, Office and Chief. Okay, and below down, then organizations. So they have the human capital developments, agriculture business, strategic planning, project delivery, corporate services, investment, and so on. So this is the picture. This is the organization chart of local authority in Malaysia. So hopefully that those students So when you come to Malaysia, or you explore about the Malaysian local authority, or you want to comparative study between one country to another country, or you want to compare with Malaysia, at least you already have a picture on this local authority. Okay, next. Local government and sustainable developments of what we call that, of the Malaysia perspective introduction. So what is the local government? I believe everybody understand what is the local government. So the local government, I showed this a photo of Putrajaya. So who never come to Malaysia, who never visit to Malaysia, this is the Minister Department in Putrajaya, Malaysia. So the local government, as you know, that is a governing entity which is entitles the authority over a sub-national territories, or they also known as a sub-states, territorially demarcated area. So as we know that all local governments is a governing entity. I believe that in other, in your country, in Indonesia, in Thailand as well, so the local governments is governing entity. Maybe some country there we may place others. It's not under locals, Ministry for Local and Housing. May you all place in others. But for Malaysia, yes. So now I just want to explain the definitions of local government to relate with the Malaysian definitions of local government. So according to Mansour, that government as the entity entrusted with the delivery of the goods and services. Of course, when we talk about the local government, meaning to say that we are talking about the services that local authority deliver to the community, deliver to the people. So that normally when you talk about the local governments, it's about the goods and services that they provide to the large regions or local levels. So I want to relate with the Malaysian government quoted what is all about the governments, but it's about the local government. So quoted by the government Malaysia in 1970s, that local government is a subsystem operating within between a number of other subsystems. Meaning to say that local governments is one of the services, one of the organizations, the important organization in governments, because they are close to the community. So in May 2015, throughout 40 states, okay, for those, I believe some of you knows about Malaysia. In Malaysia, we have 14 states, like myself in Terengganu, my hometown in Kedah, my study in Kuala Lumpur. They have 14 states in Malaysia, but maybe some in your country called province, similar to province. In Malaysia, there were 449 local authorities has been registered and given authority to administer. So these 149, they have the power because it's already deliberation power from the federals to the bottom, to the states, to manage their local authority. The local government was categorized into 3 categories based on the Malaysian point of view, with the city council for city center and municipality for a township and district council for the trivial and developing township. How many minutes more to go?
It's about 7 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. 7 minutes. My slide is just very little. Explanation is more. So this is about it's not based on case study, but it's about the local government in Malaysia. So during the government agency around the world begins, the implementation of public sector reform to improve their efficiency. So it's, same goes to Malaysia. When they have a new public management come introduced to the world, the Malaysia also look into this one deeply. So for that particular thing, new public management, so our government think that we should do something development sustainable to the local government, which is we introduce of electronic government. We call it e-government. So here I want to teach, I want to touch, because so many things after the new public management, but what the important things that I want to share with you, how Malaysia introduced the e-electronics, e-governments. This is what to disclosing the most information as possible relating to sustainable development, including the disclosure of stakeholder engagements, information we still advancing. So we introduced, aligned with new public management, we introduce e-government. What is inside? What is the content in e-government? Let me see. So e-government. So the local government, we introduce, okay, e-government to achieve the government goal. We know that a local authority is what we call that informants to government. So whatever is very close to community, the successful of the government of the day is depends on the happiness of the community. So the local authority play the important roles to make sure, to ensure that the community happy with the government service. So that's why the e-government introduced to achieve the government goal. So what they introduced, e-community. What inside the e-community? So as the lowest tiers in the closest government, so e-community is providing a services that's indirectly dependent on wider public's orientations to remain the political power. As I mentioned just now, the government is also dependent on the positive feedback from the community. So public opinion can be easily accessed through the e-government. So this is where the three e-committee websites can coexistently, so they have the website. So all the committee, they can check through the website what is the updates, the latest update in the website. So government say no need to give the leaflets to the people. So it's better to teach the people to use the technology to browse through the website of the government. So this is the government has come under increasing public pressure to enhance the performance of the service. Okay. E-local authority. Why we use e-local authority? So the people from that, we can start rating, we can rate the governments through their visits by using the star rating. The introductions of e-government star rating in 2008 via adopting the online EPBT or e-local authority. The initiative is used to encourage local government to strive for the better management and service delivery. So it's the ministry requirement. So from that, when they have, just now we introduced the website. Number 2, we introduced the e-local authority with the star rating. So people can rate the services given by the government through the star rating. And it's a very, very good the very benefits to government, which is we know that this local authority that gets a low rating. So from that township or that city hall have to improve of their performance. Because it seems that escapism is the response to pressure from other connections, and that the organization is dependent as well as the pressure to the confirm of the sections of society. That's it. Okay, commitments. In conjunction with many other countries in the world, Malaysia has implemented an ISO standard. So its ISO standard is draw on the international expertise and experience. So we government introduced another commitment which called the ISO, which the ISO, the government, the local authority have to follow the rules and the procedure exactly. So more easier that to reduce the red tape of the process of the policy for community easily to adapt to use the services. So international standard by their very nature are powerful instruments of governance in public sector, and standard can enable growth. So their standard emphasize the value of the inclusiveness is which important for stakeholders engagement and that belief that is important that stakeholders be able to express their needs. With that ISO commitment, so government can prove their services and the community can commence. Then from time to time, the improvement of services can be done. So this is how we use, why we introduce this in the Malaysian local authority. So by then, conclusion, I conclude that the delivering the essential services by the local governments help the local residents to improve quality of community lifestyle. As we know, right, people now is the technology lifestyles and standards. So the local authority can also promote activity and facility such as road. As we know right now, world at our fingertip. So this is implements to local authorities, which is we are the community at any time can use our finger to touch, to report or to get any update, latest news through the technology. So that's that. So that is about why we use this service delivery in their admission. This has shown that the local government is concerned to the community needs as well, to the community welfare. So nevertheless, it's hope that local government could make service improvement in other aspects, such as a public transportation or accessibility. And I hope that this is a little bit about the how that governments in Malaysia use the new public management cohesive and aligned with new public management, introduce the e-governance to local authority. So with that, I would like to say thank you. Maybe you can, if you any further questions, you can ask me later during the Q&A if they have. So by then, thank you so much and Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dr. Rohana, for your lectures. That's very interesting, which is bringing the new perspective or the approach on the local government authority of Malaysian governments. So I will back to you after the last speaker. Now we already have Dr. Rahmawati Husein as senior lecturers for the Government Affairs and Administrations of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Now I would like to invite Dr. Rahmawati Husein. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Please allow me to be co-host so I can share the screen. Okay. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Swadika, selamat pagi, and for all of you attending in the webinar. And again, thank you for the webinar. It's always interesting to discuss how the role of the local government, because since 2000, the issue on local government has been arising in Indonesia. And I would like to share, let me share just a second. Okay, here we are. I want to discuss on the local government and role and responsibility. I will talk in general first, and then I will use the case in Indonesia as other speaker, Professor Rohana and also Professor Yati mentioned before on the case of Thailand and Malaysia, I want to look at the more on we refer back and what actually the sustainable development. And if you all look back at the brief history of sustainable development, it has been an ongoing process, which is not currently discussed, but it has been studying in since 1962 when the book on Silent Spring, and then up to now it discussed on SDGs. So you see here on the very, I'm just highlighting the big moment on the 1972 when the UN conference, and then the Millennium Development Goal in 2000, and then the Earth Summit with the Agenda 21, and also the COP 15 and 16 and 17, and then the Rio Plus 20. And right now, the issue is not only on environment per se, but it's also related with the SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. And we can see here the timeline is also different in terms of environment because we see that sustainable development is always not only talking about environment, but it's also touching the economic development. There are 3 dimensions in sustainable development, including economic development, social progress, and environmental responsibility. And here the sustainable development is the cutting between the economic development and then environment and social progress, where we need a fair world and then a livable world and a viable world as well. So this the sustainable development become the intersection of the 3 pillars, the environment, economic, and society. And it has been designed on the economic, environment, and social into the SDGs, which all of you already understand on different goals. For if MDGs is only 8 goals, the SDGs has 17 goals, which not only central government but also local government has to address the issue on different goals in SDGs. And I just want to share what the difference between the MDGs and SDGs since it was launched since 2000. We see here that MDGs mainly for developing countries, but SDGs is more universal. And MDGs is 8 silos goals for development and 17 goals in SDGs with 169 target, which is quite ambitious. And then here, which supported by the intergovernmentally negotiated and more on global structure. And I want to discuss why the local government will play a vital role in for achieving SDGs. It has been discussed in the United Cities and local government in the world. It has been continuous effort on achieving the goal for sustainable development. Why local government plays vital role? Because they are understanding the ground. They engage with the people directly because they are at the end of service. If central government, as it described, is more on the national level, the local is the one that understanding the ground and engage directly with people. And most of local government having more trust than central or federal government because they are the one which is day to day to serve the public and to gain the public trust. And then the fourth, local government has the ability to carry out the SDGs implementation because they are, as it mentioned by 2 other speakers, they are at the end, or they are the one who who address the day or the direct engagement with the local community. And then the other thing is local government also can make more equitable regulation, which is fair justice, because they are expected to understand the problem, the context that faced by the community. I just give the example of several goals, how the role of local government in achieving SDGs, like goal number 1, to end poverty. Local government are in the ideal position to identify people living in poverty on the ground and to target resources and service to help them escape it, and provide local basic services such as water and sanitation and education, like the case in Thailand, and also information like in Malaysian case, for example. So to end poverty is very important, because this is the first goal, yeah, that it targeted how local government can also developing local economic strategy to create job and raise income by building the resilience of community to shock and disaster, like what we face today by the pandemic. The local government has played a very important role in doing so. And then this is the second one, to end hunger and improve nutrition. The local government management of natural resources in rural, particularly like land and water, underpin food security for the surrounding territory. And local government can support agricultural production and local economic growth by strengthening transport infrastructure and market. So this is in the rural. The role of local government are very important, because they provide protection to the community or the people. Whereas in urban areas, local government must ensure that people are able to purchase and cook safe, affordable, and nutritious food, because urban planning can play a major role, especially in many developing countries, like in Indonesia. The urbanization is reaching more than 40%, which usually deteriorating the quality of life of its people. So it is very important that local government ensure that people are able to purchase cook safe, affordable, and nutritious food. And also goal number 3 in ensuring healthy lives. Yeah, local government in urban area must be particularly vigilant, as urban rate of child mortality are stagnating in many countries. Yeah, in Indonesia, the child mortality also still quite high. So that's why local government play important, because they can address by having slum improvement. In Indonesia, we do have Kampung Improvement Program that's supported by various international donor and actors, and also increasing access to basic service for the urban poor, because because of the high urbanization rate, it may create the slum area or the poorest condition in some area, which is need to be improved. And the local government can use urban planning and public transport to reduce air pollution, because it is very important, especially in Indonesia. Most of the poor people, they can only afford buy motorcycle, and motorcycle is very cheap, which is also creating a problem with the air pollution, because people get easy access to buy motorcycle and getting more and more, and then the growth for daily motorcycle in Indonesia, especially in urban areas, are very high. Like in Jakarta, every day there is a new 100,000 of motorcycle being purchased by urban people. So it's very important here to foster healthy lifestyle prevent death from road accident, and also local government can contribute to reduction of death caused by water and soil pollution. I just give a few more example on how actually local government may address a specific goal, like goal number 4, to ensure inclusive and equitable quality of education. In this case, education, particularly at primary level, is a direct responsibility of local government in many countries, including in Indonesia. We call it wajib belajar 9 tahun, or is required for children to get into 9 years education. So it's mean the primary level at the elementary school and junior high school. It is responsible for local government to provide or to have the responsibility to address that. The local government are well placed to identify and tackle the barrier to the school attendance in every community. And the most important, local government can integrate technical and vocational training program into the local economic development strategies. In Indonesia, it has been also introduced the vocational school since early in the 12 years education at the high school level. The vocational training has been introduced. So if the student cannot continue to the university, they have the ability to have the skill that can meet the job opportunities on reducing unemployment rate in Indonesia. And also local government are particularly well placed to reach out the vulnerable and marginalized individual. So it's very important that every children, no one left behind for having access to education and training. This is very important to improve the quality of life. And I just jump to the goal number 13, the climate change, because it is very important in achieving as well as 3 pillars, the economic, social, and also environment. The local government, especially in cities, are often on the front line dealing with the effect of climate change. And it is vital that our capacities to deal with climate-related hazard and natural disaster are strengthened so that we can protect our communities, particularly the most vulnerable one. So it's very important here that the local leaders understand the impact on of climate change, and in the history, local leaders have been leading from the bottom up. As many local people, local community or community in general, they are following the local leaders, following the influence people on the ground, yeah, in terms of different information and different access to development. And from the aspect of climate change, there is also a history that the bottom-up in combating climate change and raising awareness at the local level has been done throughout the history. And it is essential that local government, particularly the most vulnerable cities, integrate climate change adaptation and mitigation, especially for Indonesia, where we do have many disaster. Yeah, we call it Indonesia a supermarket disaster because you can name it. We do have a lot of flooding, landslide, earthquake, tsunami, eruption. And because of the climate change right now, the extreme weather is increasingly occurs, and it creates flooding more often, landslide more often, and not only flooding, but it's also flash flood, yeah. Or banjir badang in Indonesian language. So it's very important that understanding, yeah, or protecting, yeah, understanding the effect of climate change and protecting or integrating climate change adaptation and mitigation will survive more people. And to address the Indonesian achievement on SDGs, President Indonesia is already have several laws and regulation. I just name several one. The first one is a presidential regulation number 59 2017 on the implementation of SDGs. So the president already provide the guideline on the implementation of SDGs. And then the National Planning Ministry of Regulation on Planning Coordination, Monitoring, Evaluation on the implementation of SDGs is already made in 2017 as well. Sorry, I missed the number. So the number is number 87, number 23, 2017. On the National Planning Ministry Regulation on Planning Coordination Monitoring. And then the Ministry on Health Regulation is also set up or established the task force on to implement health goals of SDGs. And then we also have laws on 23, 2004 on decentralization, where the government at the local have the more responsibility and authority to lead, to direct, to provide service on on their community respectively at the provincial and district level. And then law number 16, for example, the acceptance of Paris Agreement for national framework. So there are various laws that related with environment, with development, and with disaster. For example, the President Regulation on number 87 2020 on the Master Plan for Disaster Management from 2020 to 2045, for example. The long-term goals to reduce the risk and vulnerability, to ensure that all the development goal could be met. Because if there is a major disaster, then the goal will be disrupted. So that's why the multi approach will be important. And here, for those who doesn't know the structure of Indonesia, at the national level, we have the president, and then the national. This is the national naming authority, the ministry, and also the non-departmental or non-ministry, non-departmental ministry. And then this is at the local, at the province. We have 34 provinces. So what we mean by the local is here from the province down to the village level. So the provinces, we have 34 led by the governor. And then we have 98 cities led by mayor, and then 416 regencies or kabupaten in Indonesian language. So this is the local committee. So that's have the main different roles and responsibility to enforce the achievement of the SDGs. And then we also have the 6,793 sub-district actually. It's called kecamatan. And then we have 79,075 villages or borough, and we call it desa and kelurahan. So it's all different. This is the structure of the administration. And it is important also to see that this plans, the comprehensive plan will include the sustainable development goal. So here the plans from the national, this is the long term. This is on the right side is the local level. It's regional mean provincial, and then at the district or regency level. And then here the medium plan and the regional sector, the sectoral plan. So it's very important to incorporate the goals of the sustainable development into the comprehensive development plan. Otherwise, the goal will be on the paper only. But if they are integrated in the comprehensive plan, it will be budgeted. And if it's budgeted, at least it guarantee the implementation or ensure that the local government able to implement the planning through the planning process. And for the achieving sustainable development goal based on the presidential regulation and also the Ministry of Planning, Indonesian planning, there is a vision and strategic priorities. So here the long-term development, and then this is the medium plan. This is the vision and mission of the new president, good governance, unity and diversity, and economic development. And then the sustainable development agenda is over here from 2015 to 2013, where it will be addresses in the long-term and medium midterm plans, to reach the goal. And this is the strategy that could be improved. This is also I adopted from the United Nations on local government, how actually to strengthen, and also OECD, the European, and how actually the role of the local government. First, it can be executed, or it can be done by strengthen monitoring, reporting, and evaluation system. It's very important how actually the local government address the basic need or the goals that has been agreed by through the consensus in the SDGs, to collect evidence on impact on the policy of SDGs, and then build a strong and political commitment and leadership at the highest level to foster the whole government action on sustainable development goals, and then define implementation and define the implementation and also communicate a strategic long-term vision, and then improve policy integration to capitalize on synergies, and then analyze and assess policy impact to inform decision making and avoid negative effect on the sustainable development prospect on other countries. And then engage stakeholder effectively. And also improve the regional and local authority is always a part of the strategy that done by the local, the international and national government. How the regional and local authority to align, prioritize, and ensure coordinated action and enhance. And then the last one, and ensure the whole government coordination to provide or to meet the goal of the sustainable development. And I also suggest that at the local government is very important because it will create a community resilient, because as we see for sustainable development, there are three pillars: the environmental and the social and economic. To be able to meet the sustainable development goals, the community need to be resilient. To meet this, there is a need for community planning, information and education learning, resources that they have at the local government, partnership and engagement. There are requirements for local government to meet or the objective of community resilience. And what can they do? First, they may identifying and mapping vulnerabilities and risks, and then the developing plan and master plan, and then provide them with the laws, regulation, and consensus is very important. And then the last one, I will discuss what action can be done by the local government is the engagement, because without engagement with the community, it will not get the support for the community to achieve the sustainable development goal. That's why the local government need to always encourage for public meeting to get the feedback from the community, what they actually need and understand the context. And then they need to get the focus group discussion with various stakeholders, yeah, and then providing workshop to better plan, monitor, and evaluate, and then also do the simulation if it's needed for various cases, and then call for action is the most important. For example, to end the hunger, how actually every stakeholder in the community will participate, yeah, to end the hunger, or to help on education, like not only the state but also the private one or the non-profit organization like Muhammadiyah. University Muhammadiyah is also part of non-government organization that contribute to education, social health, because Muhammadiyah has around 19,000 schools throughout Indonesia and 171 higher education universities and colleges, and 400 hospital and clinics throughout Indonesia. This is part of the engagement, not only government, but non-government in achieving, yeah, sustainable development goal. And lastly, the stakeholder partnership is needed. As I mentioned, we need to have the local government who can identify who are the actors, yeah, who can be aligned as a partner, yeah, to reach the goal in providing services and also to meet the 17 sustainable development goals to end poverty, yeah, to end the hunger, to provide the better health and nutrition, and so on. And then align vision and same goals, because every stakeholder, most of the both of private and then community, universities, they all have some goals to reduce or to increase the education of the people, both formal, informal, and non-formal. Yeah, and then we share, yeah, the role and responsibility. So it's very important that role and responsibility could be shared if the government cannot done by themselves, especially at the local level, where usually there is a limitation of resources. That's why the accountability is also important, because some of the resources may not available at the local government. And then the partnership could be built on the culture and values. How the culture and values on protecting environment, for example, and then helping others. Yeah, it is a cultural and values in many Southeast Asia. Yeah, where people like to help other, and then it could also increase the resiliency of the communities, because the communities can meet the goal to end the poverty, for example, or to end hunger. And then the most important is communication. Who doing what, when, how, yeah. And it is important to communicate what are the goals, why sustainable development goals is important, how we achieve, who are we going to partner, yeah, and in what way we can work more effectively. So it's very important to communicate them. And then the last one is leadership. Leadership is the most important thing. Without any leadership, the goal cannot be met. And then also the environment, yeah, the working environment would not be carried out. Yeah, so leadership is not only political will from the local government, but it's also the direction, the example, the motivation, and also the transformation on the strategy could be done through the good leadership at the local level. I think this I will conclude with my presentation by this slide, how the local government can always increase the partnership with various actors to provide the sustainable development goals and having or reaching is more viable word and also the socially justice. Thank you. And I will return to Mas Agus. Over to you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much to Bu Ama, which is complexly addressing the local government rules and responsibility which link to the sustainable development goals as well. So it's very interesting to discuss. We have already 3 different perspectives, not only for Thailand, Malaysia, but also Indonesian practices. So now we come to the question and answer sessions. I would like to invite all participants, all audience to have a raise hand. If you have any questions, let us to be discussed here and together link our topic on this seminar. If I would like to mention based on our chat room, I already have one questions, and this is goes to Dr. Sirikanya. You may look at in the chat room, and here is the questions for Dr. Sirikanya. Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, if you already read the questions, you may directly address the answer. And also, I would like to invite to all participants. If you have any questions, please.
Okay, please wait just a moment, please. I will find the question. Okay, can you read the name?
Yeah, I was one day.
Oskuwanti, are you in? Are you stay here? I would like to see you.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am here.
Can you repeat your question for me, please?
Yes, for my question.
You want to know the one of the important things to success education, decentralization, right?
I'm sorry. My question is, yes. Hello?
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah. My question is, how about the budgeting, about the money to develop education from the local government, but not from the state? Maybe like community or the other sources about money in Thailand.
In the term of the budget or money in education management, before the school is under in the central government is not transferred to local government, is the not enough money to manage education. Before have the centralized to power management public policy, the central government to local government, the school is managed by local government is not the problem about the money. That's enough for management. But is the problem is the how can use the budget to use in the process in the education is efficiency. Yeah. So the school in under local government is not the problem about the money. That's enough. Yes. So I think the school under the local government is must to still support by the central government. Yeah.
Okay. That's no problem about the budget, yeah?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
enough.
Oh, enough. Okay.
It's enough for manage.
Yeah, but that's different from Indonesia. Indonesia is a problem about the budget.
The central government does support the budget to local government or not in Indonesia.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to the answer and questions. Now we have Maulida Rahmatul Ilmi from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Is this correct? Please open your camera and directly ask to our speaker.
Okay, thanks for chance given, sir. Before all, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Rahmawati. I'm come from University of Muhammadiyah Jember, especially government science. So here I'm going to ask to first presenter. It's really interesting topic to talk about as we have known together. First, education brings so much influence on development, either economic or society itself. So my question is how much their effect and how far the achievement of the cooperation itself in terms of local area and goal of the country. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions? Please raise your hand and notify me if you have any. Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to check. Okay, so directly to Dr. Sirikanya, you may respond to the.
I can hear the question clearly. Can you write on the chat box for me, please? I will read it again in the short question.
Sure.
Yeah, she already.
Excuse me, it's just not clear for the sound of it. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
can
she
you
already,
write out in the chat box?
Yeah,
okay.
She already write in chat box. You may look at.
How much the effect, yes, and how far achievement of cooperation itself in terms of local area in the whole country. How much effect? Yeah, I have if the education management by local government is have the participant of all stakeholders in the local or local community is will can solve the real problem, and the people in the local can be tell the leadership, the leader of the local government to the real problem that or something they want to solve, or the need of the people about the improved education for your people in the area. I think it's very important to know the real problem from the real people in the area. Yes, are you understand me? Is this clear for you? Hello,
yes, thank you, Miss.
Thank
yes,
you.
I can hear.
Yeah, okay. So thank you. Now we already have another question from Mr. El Muhammadi. His questions to the all speaker, I think. And Amma and Dr. Rohana, you may look at in the chat room.
Yeah.
So I would like to.
I do have one question in the chat room.
Yes, in the chat room.
Yeah, I have a question on the SDGs goal achievement of Indonesia, and there is a question from Mani from UT on the SDGs goal achievement that Indonesia has done in terms of rate among the ASEAN country. So Indonesia among the ASEAN country still not very advanced. Yeah, so compared to Thailand, Indonesia is ranked in the world is number 101 among 166 that commit to the SDGs. And Thailand is the rank 41 with the total score 74. Thailand is higher than Malaysia, which is ranked in 60. The score is 71 and 0.76, and Filipina is higher a little bit than Indonesia and 99. Indonesia is 101. So it's still long to go, yeah, to achieve 17 goals of sustainable developments within ASEAN countries. Indonesia is still behind. So we hope that by working together through different, through the various stakeholder, we could improve. Actually, this year Indonesia is up one rank or two rank from 103 to 101, but it's still compared to another ASEAN countries, Indonesia is still quite far compared to Thailand and also Malaysia. Yeah, we are close to the Philippines, Indonesia. So that I respond to the question on the SDG goals.
Yeah, and the second question, Bu Amma, is from Muhammadi. How to answer the program in local government and province government is going its turn?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, the only thing for ensuring the program and the local government is through the planning, the development planning, because we have the annual planning, we have the medium planning in 5 years, and also long-term planning. If we are not including in planning, there will be no budget. It means if there is no budget, there will not be implemented, because all development program or program done by government is always related with the budget. So to ensure that the local government able to implement, they need to integratively put in the planning system or the planning mechanism through the long-term planning, medium, and also annual plan. That's the first one. The second one, they need to work together with various stakeholders. Since the government and every other world, especially in developing countries, they always have a problem for budgeting process, for example. Then the only thing is working with the private, working with the NGOs, working with academia like university to do research, to incorporate the community service that done by universities. That's also part of the achieving the goals that local government may not have the ability or may not have resources, both human resources and also financial resources. So local government can work with academia to achieve the goals of the sustainable development. That's offered to you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Amma, for your response. And also I'd like to invite Dr. Rohana, you may respond your questions on what is the barrier to the implement e-government or e-governance in Malaysia.
Okay, thank you so much. So I come back to the questions about the barriers. Well, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you know, right, implementing a new things to the people. So we meaning to say that we have to change the thinkings of the people, change the mindset of the people for the new implementation. So that at first, when the government of Malaysia introduced the e-governance, of course they have objection from the people, which is they have to change their living style, which is they have to educate themselves to use the technology in the daily life. So this is the first thing that very crucial at the beginning when the government implementing the e-government. As you know, right, those people who stay in the urban area, for them technology is not it's not a big deal. But for those who stay in the rural area, which is Malaysia called orang kampung, so orang luar bandar. So for them to use the technology is very difficult. So that is the barrier that government needs to educate the people from time to time in order to success the e-governance. So what we do is, okay, so we promote, we have people to train the staff itself, even though not all the government servants is where we call that expert in using a technology. So before we implement that, the government train the people itself, the government people to use the internet, the technology as a medium. So we send the people train, and then we go down to the roots, go down to the people down there to educate the people to understand how easy if you use the governor rather than you go to the town hall and then you have to wait for so long, clean for so long. So from that, and then slowly people can accept that the changes in government. So the very obstacles, the period, that time that when government introduced is to educate the people on using the technology. So that is the first thing. Then later government, when the people already increase, then nowadays people who like more some more with MCO movement control order during the pandemics, we are so happy. Everything pays relates to the local authority. Just stay in front of the laptop and we make a payment. So now it's much better. Okay, that is, I think that's the very very barriers to the governments. They started implementing the e-government. I think that's is it answer your questions.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Rohana. Once again, can I ask again to Mrs. Rohana?
Yeah, you may directly ask to Dr. Rohana.
Thank you. What about the social communities in there? Is it any movement that government give to social communities to help the program in Malaysia, e-government in Malaysia? Thank you. Socialization in Malaysia.
Okay, you mean how to your question is how our governments help the community to. I'm so sorry. Pardon me. No, really clear.
I repeat again.
Yeah.
When we have a barrier in the implement e-government or e-governance in Indonesia, the government ensure the social communities in rural area give them some what is the meaning?
Okay, I got it. I got it. I got
yes,
what you
encourage.
mean.
Yes,
yeah, I
encourage
got it.
to promote the socialization e-government in Indonesia.
Okay.
How about in Malaysia?
Yeah, same goes. When we want to introduce these e-governments, so what did you say? So we governments have provided to the rural developments. They call it multi corridors, which is that place. They provide the internet to the rural area. At first, if we want to implement the e-government, so the rural area have to receive the internet as well. So what we did is what the government provided at first to all the villages. They give the internet to every village, or people call the in Malay kampung. So for that kampung, so we will encourage is a free internet usage to the kampung, to the villages in the rural area, for the community, for the outskirt community to use the e-government. It's a free. Same goes to my kampung, my village, which is one kampung or 2-3 kampung is one, they give a free internet service for the certain period. And number two, in order to educate, we have a Ministry of Rural Development as well, which is their task to encourage the peoples in the rural area to apply or to do a business by doing by use the internet. So in top of that, our Malaysian government also look into the Korean and Japanese way, how they give, how they encourage the people at the rural area do market the products through the e-government. So the local governments itself play the roles. The rural development Ministry of Rural Development also play the roles, and the Ministry of Telecommunication also play the role. So these three ministry, they join together to help the people in the rural area to improve their technology skill. So that's what the government did. And on top of that, also the government start introduce subjects, computer subjects to the school. We started with the primary school and secondary school. So that is how we open their mindsets by introducing the computer subjects in the school. So this is how, and beside the multi corridor technology and internet, this is what that Malaysia have been implemented to the community till to date. Then some of them the government also provides give a computer to allocate the computer to the peoples in the rural area based on their income as well. If there are B40 or B40 and below, so they are eligible to get that benefit, which is government provided a computer. So this is part of the government strategy to ensure that the implementing of e-governments to the people throughout Malaysia is success. So I hope that my explanation is clear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Collaborate to research in Malaysia and Indonesia about the e-government implement.
Sure.
E-government.
Yeah.
Thank
Can
you.
collaborate. You are welcome.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rana and Mr. El Muhammadi. You still have one question to Dr. Sirikanya, right? Yeah, so I think Dr. Sirikanya already knows the questions. You may directly answer and respond it.
Okay, the question is the difference about the implement North Thailand, the South Thailand. In the objective or goal to education management is not different because of local government that you managed by followed by the central government policy on nation plan education, and it's different in the practical on the other area. other local is they have the different contact, different traditional, different lifestyle. The local government and school in each other area can be design the learning curriculum for suitable in other area, in other province. Yes. I understand. I can answer clearly.
Yeah, I think so. How did you get already, Mr. El Muhammadi?
Yes. Actually, in 2017, I have gone to Songkla.
Yes.
And I see in the road there is a lot of barrier from military. What is
Mm-hmm.
military? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so in that case, is it any difference to implement the education policy?
About education policy or
Yes.
yes,
Is it different or
it's
because not different?
not different
Okay. Thank
in
you
the
very much.
goal, in the objective of the education management, but in different in the practical or the way to implement the policy suitable in the other province. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we just
Thank
have
you for your
2
question
minutes.
too.
Yeah. Last questions, perhaps. Please raise your hand. Okay. So now we come to the end our public lectures on local government units and sustainable developments, which inviting 3 speakers from different countries from Indonesia, Malaysia, and also Thailand, which is presented on different perspective and approach. That's very valuable and insights for us to understand in different context and different practices. Now, like to thanks to the Dr. Rahmawati Husein for your presentations and also your lectures, and also Dr. Sirikanya for your lectures and giving huge practical in Thailand on the education sector, and also Dr. Rohana. Thank you very much for your lectures that's highlight on the government's authority, especially for the e-government in Malaysia. Now, I would like to thanks to all participants and also guests, which is following our seminars from the beginnings. And lastly, thank you very much for this seminar to the all committee. And that's all my sessions, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Thank you,
Terima
Dr.
kasih.
Sirikanya, Dr. Rohana. Hope we can further collaborate for the research.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you, all of you.
Okay, thank you so much. I see you some other time. Hope I welcome all of you to Malaysia when all the pandemic is away. So maybe you can come to my beautiful Terengganu university as well. So by then, stay safe and thank you so much for all.
Okay.
Thank you.
But previously, let me get you into the take a picture together, press.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm getting one. For those like to open camera, please open your camera. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Next slide. So we have a lot of participants. Now, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's all our seminars, and don't forget to the participant to absence to fill in the absence that provided our committee by the link in the room chats. Please fill it and make sure the full names, because we will distribute the e-certificates for the all participants and also the speakers. And once again, thank you very much for joining with us, and look forward for the upcoming seminars with the same in the same co-host or the partners and the committee. So once again, see you in the upcoming event.
See you very much. Terima kasih. Matingkong. Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa.
Swadika. Goodbye.
Swadika.
Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Goodbye.
Swadika.